Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Thirteen away from 8. Let's head on up to part of God's country which is called the Dubbo area. Dubbo, Wellington and all points west. Sort of northwest. Good morning this morning to the Mayor, Matthew Dickerson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kerry. How are you going this morning?
I'm extremely good. Listen, you're quite delighted about tourism numbers at the moment.
Actually, the whole Central West is going really well with tourism numbers. We've got a bit of a surge in tourism. We're back to not only pre-COVID-19 levels, but better than pre-COVID-19 levels. The latest report from the Tourism and Transport Forum Australia says that tourism in the whole Central New South Wales region has gone up by 11% based on pre-pandemic levels. You can cheat a little bit in this, Kerry, because you can compare it to a couple of years ago when we were in lockdown and it's going to look good. But let's go back to pre-pandemic, and that's where we're 11% above that, which is fantastic. In the whole Central New South Wales region, Dubbo is the most visited LGA in the entire region, so that's good as well. But again, the whole region's going well. But the other thing that I thought was quite pleasing is that the Central New South Wales region saw a visitation increase of 11.7% for tourists under the age of 30. And often we're seen as an area that's good for families, the visiting friends and family market, the friends and relatives market, so VFR market. But that tourism under 30 means that we're actually changing our offering to some extent and actually offering a bit more to some of those younger people out there. So that's, I think, a really exciting thing as well.
That is an interesting figure, isn't it? Now, the other thing this morning too, water usage. Now, this is always on everybody's mind, of course, water usage, how much it costs and that sort of thing. You've got a way of checking this, haven't you?
Exactly right. In the past, we've got smart meters in Dubbo, but you've had a website you could go to, and it was all a bit clumsy to go and check your water usage. You could do it, and I probably shouldn't be too harsh on it, but it's been a bit clumsy. People want to use their phone these days, so we've just launched a water portal app. And so anyone in Dubbo or Wellington that's got a smart meter, which is basically everyone in the town areas there, you can go and download the app. It's called Water Portal, Portal. You download that app and you can put in details about your property, and essentially you can look at your water usage. That water usage is updated each day, but when it's updated, it actually gives you hourly usage. So you can't see what you used in the last hour, but if you look at that and download that data, you can look at it from yesterday's usage hour by hour, or obviously more than yesterday. You can go back the last day, week, month, etc., and get a really accurate report. You can also do some alerts, email alerts, SMS alerts. So if you are worried that you might get a water leak, you might be away on holidays, for example, you can get an alert and suddenly you can see, wow, we're using more water at the moment. Why is that? Is there a leak somewhere? Am I putting too much water in the garden? What can it be? The first thing, Kerry, as with anything, if you want to change your behaviour or something, the first thing you've got to do is look at your behaviour, look at what you're doing, and then you can look to change it. So that's a really powerful thing. So near real-time water usage.
Okay. Now, in the Wellington area, there's a couple of things happening there. Batteries and also a React Centre.
A React Centre. So this is something that went through a council resolution to actually look at something to help leave some long-term legacy in Wellington. So we've got a resolution of council to go and do a business case. Now, the React Centre stands for Renewable Energy Awareness and Career Training Centre. Now, this is going to be something, I think, if we get it up, it's really powerful. It'll be for tourism. It'll be something where people will be able to learn about renewables, learn about what's happening, look at some renewables in action. It'll also be a training centre. Now, we know from all these 6,000 plus employees that are going to be needed for the whole renewables area around Dubbo, we know that there's going to be a lot of training required. So we're going out there, we're talking to industry, we're talking to government, we're going to put together a business case, and then the tricky part of that, Kerry, is to say, here's this business case, now how do we get that funded by, hopefully, industry and the government to basically build something there that's going to be a long-term legacy for Wellington.
Right. Okay, and the batteries, you're looking at batteries as well for Wellington?
There's 2 battery projects we've been in discussion with, and I can't tell you about the exact negotiations at this stage. That's confidential, the actual amounts, but it's certainly getting much better, Kerry, in terms of how much money will be left in the community by these various renewable projects. So there's 2 batteries. They're at their final stages of the planning agreement in our negotiations. Then that'll go through to the Western Regional Planning Panel, where they'll get final approval, we hope, for those projects and start looking to put those projects together. But in the past, it's probably fair to say that renewable projects haven't left enough money in the community, in my opinion. When we finish this whole renewable energy zone around Dubbo, around Wellington, around that Badenga area, we'll be providing 42% of the power for the entire state. So I think it's only fair and reasonable, Kerry, that a bit of money's left in the pockets of people in Wellington, some development happens around there, and so these two battery projects, I hope that we'll get some good planning agreement negotiations to come out of those and leave some money on the table for Wellington.
Now, just finally this morning, local government elections next year, of course, in 2024, but now they're organising for returning officers at the moment.
That's the New South Wales Electoral Commission. They've asked councils to go out there and help advertise the fact that this is happening. I think it's so early, Kerry, to be talking about elections already. We're only in November and we're talking about elections in September next year. But Sunday, the 12th of November, is the application closing date if you want to be a returning officer for the September 2024 elections. Now, it's not a bad gig if you're retired, semi-retired, and you want to be involved in local government in some way, then that's a good way to do it, to be involved in that election process. If you Google Hudson Electoral Commission 2024, then you'll find the application process there. Hudson is the company that's doing the actual application process. Put in details there, and they're going to need, well, presumably about 128 returning officers across the state for the 128 different local government areas. So go and put your applications in for that.
Yeah, well, just think about how quickly 2023's gone. That won't take long to get here, I tell you.
You're right.
Thanks for that. Mate, you're good to talk to you, mate. We'll catch up. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Kerry.
Appreciate it. See you, mate. There you go, Matthew Dickinson.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickinson from Dubbo Regional Council.